Overthinking is a cancer for our own minds. It sneaks into our minds through our own doubt and spreads like a live virus. It leads to an anti-stoic life and a life filled with doubt and regret. In this video today, we will list 15 Stoic lessons in order to overcome overthinking. Before we start this video, I would like to say thank you for watching and don't forget to like. And if you are watching this and not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for more life-changing Stoic content. Number 1. Focus on what you wish to achieve. When your mind gets lost obsessively analyzing things, bring it back to aligning actions with your desired goals. When you notice yourself overanalyzing, pause and ask what your aim is for this situation. What would be constructive action here? Refocus on productive outcomes rather than circular thinking. For example, if overthinking whether someone likes you, shift to considering how to build rewarding relationships overall or cultivate self-confidence. If you're over-planning, get back to taking an imperfect first step. Repeatedly returning focus to values-aligned action cuts through rumination by breaking the distraction and perfectionism fueling it. You realign with purpose. Of course, have a plan and wisely consider options. But don't let thinking become avoiding pursuing aims through uncertainty and excuses. Lean into worthy goals, analysis be damned. As Marcus Aurelius said, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Redirect thoughts from endless analysis to purposeful living. Number 2. Accept that some things are uncertain. Sometimes no amount of thinking will make things certain. Learning to stay steady amidst the unknown curbs overthinking. Reflect on how overanalysis often stems from needing certainty before acting or letting go. But some matters involve intrinsic uncertainty. Frustration comes from demanding definitiveness in inherently ambiguous situations. Practice tolerating uncertainty without needing absolute clarity before proceeding. Take reasonable steps and adjust as new data emerges. Analysis paralysis stymies action. Acting expands knowledge. When overthinking, pause and ask yourself sincerely, have I realistically analyzed this enough for now? Is further thinking useful or just avoiding the discomfort of the unknown? What incremental step can I take? Of course, use discernment to prepare wisely where possible, but release the futile attempt to think your way to total certainty and control. Befriend the unknown without shutting down. Move forward progressively while embracing uncertainty. As Socrates said, wisdom comes from understanding what we do not know. Overthinking obscures this truth. Remain open, thoughtful, and steady in your step regardless of uncertainty. Number 3. Live in the present moment. Overanalysis thrives when ungrounded from the current reality. Notice when churning thoughts pull you out of the now, rehashing old mistakes or conversations, imagining feared scenarios. Gently return attention to your senses and physical surroundings. Come fully into your body and environment in this moment without narrative. Engage your perception, sights, sounds, sensations happening right now. The present is always tranquil before the thinking mind adds drama. Practice mindfulness meditation to strengthen your capacity to witness thoughts non-judgmentally. Then return, focused to the now. Overthinking loses momentum as you consistently return to the here and now. While practical planning has its place, stay grounded in doing the best you can this moment rather than fixating on reworking the unchangeable past or unpredictable future. What action can you take now? Number 4. Remember that opinions of others are outside your control. Their judgments say more about them than you. Keep perspective. When you notice yourself overanalyzing conversations or interactions, ask if it stems from wanting to control what others think of you. Their perceptions don't determine your value or path. You can reflect on feedback judiciously to see what you could improve. But don't desperately attempt to shape externals like reputation through incessant worrying. Accept this lies outside your influence. As Marcus Aurelius advised, nothing should be done impulsively and nothing should be refused obstinately. Have principles but release rigidity around others' views of you. Of course, treat people kindly and communicate thoughtful why. But no, you can't actually force perspectives. Just focus on aligning words and actions with wisdom. Let go of anxiety around impressions. Your worth and purpose have little to do with externals like praise, status, and fame. Do not give such fleeting things power over your peace of mind. Cultivate inner stability rather than chasing approval. Number 5. Reframe challenges as opportunities. Our experience depends profoundly on how we perceive events, not just externals. Reframing transforms reality by transforming mindset. Notice when you view setbacks reflexively as problems eliciting pessimism. Pause and consciously reassess the situation, looking for possible positives disguised within difficulties. Ask empowering questions. What can I learn here? How might this problem actually be a chance to improve? What mental muscles will be overcoming this build? What strengths can I leverage? Of course, acknowledge and accept troubles that arise without judgment, but then search for the gifts contained in each difficult experience. Peel eye-opening layers like an onion until you find the growth. Adopting an opportunistic rather than victim mentality around challenges breeds resilience. You stay motivated knowing problems provide terrain for developing wisdom and character. See the upside. As Epictetus said, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Reframe obstacles as invaluable feedback, revealing your blind spots and possibilities for self-improvement. Mine each challenge for psychological gold. Number 6. Don't procrastinate. Rather than delaying due to anxiety or perfectionism, take reasonable action promptly and decisively. When you catch yourself putting off an intimidating task, pause. Reflect on the true crux of your hesitation. Are you avoiding discomfort? Seeking unattainable perfection? Identify holdups. Combat procrastination by breaking large goals into small, manageable tasks. Outline step A, B, C. Accomplish A before considering B. Each step builds momentum. Set deadlines to instill urgency rather than lazing indefinitely in analysis paralysis. Expect imperfection and course correct later. But for now, get moving. Progress, not perfection. Of course, reflect before acting to think through consequences and prevent carelessness. But don't let prudence become indefinite delay. Push past the sticking points through your decisions. As Marcus Aurelius put it, think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. Death's inevitability reminds us not to wait. Act accordingly. Number 7, follow nature and reason. When obsessively analyzing, ask what a wise person would remind you of in this moment. Consider realities like impermanence, uncertainty, interconnectedness. Don't fight the nature of life. Release fearful fantasies of how you wish things were. Bring attention to your senses and direct experience. Nature's laws surpass the worried mind's desires. Anchor in its unarguable presence. Also consider your own human nature and how to fulfill it. Pursuing knowledge, helping others, realizing potential. Reflect on your core values versus superficial worries. Of course, plan and improve things wisely in alignment with principles, but overthinking often spins out resisting how reality naturally is. Align yourself with the appropriate flow of the universe. As Marcus Aurelius advised, live a good life. If there are gods and they are just, then they will not care how devout you have been, but will welcome you based on the virtues you have lived by. If there are gods but unjust, then you should not want to worship them. If there are no gods, then you will be gone, but will have lived a noble life that will live on in the memories of your loved ones. Trust reason and nature. Number 8, choose your company wisely. Carefully assess the impacts of those you spend time with. Do some friends and family trigger unhealthy thought patterns by complaining or gossiping excessively? Instead, spend time with grounded, upbeat people focused on values you share, learning, contribution, ethics. Their energy and perspective lift you beyond overthinking. Of course, have compassion for those struggling while still reducing time with draining influencers. You can assist them in other ways without drowning yourself also. Save your ship first. Beyond personal relations, limit consumption of media and content that breeds turmoil, outrage, and despair. Follow news selectively. Let information uplift, not crush spirit. As Seneca stated, be careful who you share your life with. Those who really care don't get in your way, they lift you up. Good company prevents you losing your way amidst worries. Number 9. Limit distractions and clutter. Both our physical environment and information diet influence mental overwhelm. Simplify wisely. Assess your regular inputs, websites, notifications, news sources, possessions, commitments. Prune excess noise and bustle that scatters attention and creates false urgency. Depth before breadth. Organize living and workspaces for calm productivity. Remove clutter and craft peaceful refuge from sensory overload. Declutter space clears mind. Set boundaries around distractions like social media and television. Use tools to block tempting sites and apps when focused. Take restorative offline time. Nourish with quality, not quantity inputs. Of course, some distractions rejuvenate in moderation, but excessive input and obligations exhaust willpower needed to focus yourself. Simplify back to essence. As Seneca said, be careful of the company you keep, for they will shape you in lasting ways. Good influences include environments and information. Cut the rest. Conserve mental energy through simplifying space, time, and input. With less burdening your bandwidth, you think clearly on what truly matters. Effective output requires minimizing input. Number 10. Focus on what is in your power. Attempting to dominate externals you can't truly control breeds overthinking and anxiety. Find peace in your sphere of influence. When overwhelmed by worrying, pause and reflect on what parts of the situation you have agency over. Your choices, beliefs, judgments, actions. Don't fret over other people or circumstances outside your sway. Detach from the futile attempt to dominate everything to your liking. Serenity emerges when you release the misguided need for absolute certainty and control. Make space for life's beautiful mysteries. Of course, work to mindfully improve whatever possible in alignment with ethical principles. But realist your efforts' limits. Flow with reality rather than fighting a fruitless battle for unattainable control. As Epictetus said, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. It is only after you have faced up to this fundamental rule and learned to distinguish between what you can and can't control that inner tranquility and outer effectiveness become possible. Master the former. Number 11. Be present in your actions. Overthinking thrives when you act on autopilot rather than giving your full focus. Do less, but with total presence. When you notice distraction or mental chatter arising during important tasks, pause to anchor yourself back in the physical senses. Notice details in your surroundings. Take a few mindful breaths. Return to the task with renewed engagement. If overthinking continues, keep calmly bringing yourself back into the here and now. Be compassionate but firm, disrupting rumination. Beyond distractions, check that you aren't rushing through activities to finish them but missing essential steps. Carelessness also scatters attention. Slow down and go deep. Thoroughness silences the worrying mind. Of course, deliberate planning has its place too. But once preparation is sufficient, give yourself wholly to execution without micromanaging each micro step. Let action absorb you. Staying immersed in the present activity crowds out anxious thinking. You gain entry to timeless flow states where overthinking fades into the background. Execute with excellence. Details resolve themselves. Number 12. Remember, change is constant. Much overthinking and distress comes from resisting reality's impermanent nature rather than accepting it. Remember that this too shall pass. Reflect on how your past was filled with changes. Endings of jobs, homes, relationships, changing world events. Your present will soon become the past also. Expect transition as normal. When you worry anxiously about present challenges, bring perspective. Consider you probably felt similarly distressed in the past when facing difficulty. Yet here you are now. This too will evolve. Making peace with impermanence alleviates suffering based on desperately grasping to control how things are. Release your grip. Allow life to flow through you smoothly, not frantically trying to dam its currents. As Marcus Aurelius put it, all is ephemeral, both memory and the object of memory. So every instant devote yourself to living with the divine spark within you, in the flesh indeed, but transcending the flesh. Anchor in what remains beyond change. Of course, prudently secure resources and set goals for flourishing. But anxiety comes from expecting permanence rather than wisely adapting along with arising conditions. Number 13. Practice gratitude. Each day, devote time to contemplate and express gratitude for the people, opportunities, and resources that enrich your life. Savor what you too easily take for granted. Open your heart in thanks. When you catch your mind spinning with thoughts of lacking in some area, pause and redirect focus to blessings you do have, even basic shelter, food, mobility. Gratitude grounds you in providence. Keep a simple journal to jot a few things you feel grateful for each day. Over weeks and months, this compounds a deep well of appreciation to draw from when overthinking tempts you. Make giving thanks a regular ritual before meals, in morning pages, before sleep. The more you practice gratitude, the more natural it becomes as your default. Anxiety finds no purchase in the grateful heart. Of course, have ambitions and work diligently to improve conditions, but overthinking often feeds on scarcity fears. Abundance awaits in each moment, fully embraced with gratitude and presence. Give thanks. Number 14, be kind to yourself and others. Harboring resentment only hurts you. Respond with understanding and forgiveness when possible. Notice if obsessive worry makes you quick to anger, blame others as annoyances, or judge yourself harshly. These reactions only compound distress. Sow understanding in their stead. Even if wronged, avoid brewing on how others should be punished or penance they owe. Wish them well silently instead. For small slights, just let go fully and move forward. Grudges drag you down most. Be kind to yourself too if overthinking tempts self-criticism. Talk to yourself as a supportive friend would. Practice self-care and note lessons learned without judgment. Nurture your spirit. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, caretake this moment, immerse yourself in its particulars. Respond to this person, this challenge, this deed. Quit evasions. Stop giving yourself needless trouble. It is time to really live, to fully inhabit the situation you happen to be in now. Meet each now with kindness. It dissolves our troubles. Number 15. Take a balanced view. Obsessive worry often comes from seeing situations through only one anxious lens. Consider issues from multiple angles to gain perspective. When you find yourself spiraling about a problem, pause and expand your perspective. How might this situation look to people in differing circumstances or roles? What other positive ways could this play out? Try writing out different people's diverging opinions and feelings regarding the issue worrying you. Standing in others' shoes expands understanding and empathy. Hear all sides. Look for strengths or opportunities disguised in challenges rather than just harping on worst-case scenarios. Ask what lessons could this experience offer if engaged with courageously and creatively. There is always more than one view. Consider how blowing difficulties out of proportion often stems from needing certainty and security. Then release rigid demand for the perfect outcome by embracing life's inherent mystery with grace. There are always unknowns, thrive anyway. Regularly challenging yourself to recognize more nuanced perspectives dissolves panicked attachment to single-minded assumptions. You develop wisdom to respond thoughtful why rather than overreact. If you are listening to this, thank you for staying till the end. If you feel any of these Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a Stoic discussion in the comments. I welcome Stoic discussions as they are what the great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca advised for. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, and if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you find peace and serenity in the Stoic ways.